Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. How nice to be here with you all. And how are you? Kimanya? To correct. Is it correct?
Becoming correct.
Becoming. Okay. Are you a little tired? Fatigued? Oh, I don't know. I think we need to do a little exercise. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Put your hands in the air. All of you. All of your hands. Living. Take a deep breath. And everyone say, after me, very loud, after me, après-moi. Hare Krishna! Hare Krishna! Louder. Hare Krishna! Hare Krishna! Okay. Not too bad. Could have been worse. That's good. Nice group of devotees. Yes, so we will read today. If it's all right with you, we will read a verse today from Srimad Bhagavatam. We will read Srimad Bhagavatam. Canto 1, Chapter 3. Krishna is the source of all incarnations. And we'll read a very famous verse, verse 28. First Canto, Chapter 3, verse 28. Do many of you know that verse? The Sanskrit? Anyway, it's okay, I'll just read the verse. Ete chansa kalapumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrali Vyakulam Lokam Mridayanti Yuge Yuge. Translation. All of the above mentioned incarnations are either plenary portions or portions of the plenary portions of the Lord. But Lord Sri Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. All of them appear on planets whenever there's a disturbance created by the atheists. The Lord incarnates to protect the theists. This is a famous verse. Do you all understand my English? Comprende? Yeah, understand. Okay. I remember giving class here some years ago, maybe 10 or something like that. And we had to have a translation into Creole. But now you all understand English, yeah? Okay. Okay. Because my Creole is dangerous. Right. So this is a famous verse. Particularly the first half of the verse. It's really in two distinct halves. Eti chansa kalapumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. That there are many different forms of the Lord and different types of forms. Some are called here angsa, means a part. And then there's another variety, another type of form of the Lord, and they're called kala, which basically means a part of a part. So they're lesser. They're still forms of Krishna, but they're lesser. And, you know, the answers, they're parts, and the kalas, they're parts of parts, they're lesser. But Krishna's too, Bhagavan Swayam. Bhagavan means the possessor of all opulences. We all have some opulence. I imagine many of you have a few rupees in your pocket or your purse right now, and some more in your bank account or at home under the mattress. So everyone has some opulence. But Krishna has all the opulence. And we might say, someone might say, no, he doesn't. He doesn't have all of the opulence, because I have some. So at least that part he doesn't have. I have at least some. But it is not really like that. Our opulence, it is Krishna's. He has loaned it to us. And in a while, he will take it back. Yes. Latest point will be when you die. And in these very dramatic economic times these days, then you might lose all your money before the end of this life also, who knows. So it's on loan. It's all on loan from Krishna. And from time to time he takes it back. Like that. And everyone has some beauty. We look around, we see you're all nice devotees and nice looking devotees. Everyone has some beauty. Even amongst the animals, they are attracted to each other's beauty. The female giraffe looks at the male giraffe and thinks, oh, what a beautiful neck he has. And the female elephant looks at the male elephant and thinks, what a nice trunk. And even the hippopotamuses, I don't know what they find nice, but they must find something nice. So everyone has some beauty. But Krishna has all the beauty. When Krishna was here, he would move around 5,000 years ago, and people would see him, and sometimes, because of his beauty, they become so overwhelmed, some of them would faint. Oh, seeing Krishna's beauty is just too much. Did anyone ever faint when they saw you? Just one time? Not even one time. Anyway, you're all nice, don't worry. Don't become paranoid. Do I look okay? Is something wrong? But still, Krishna is special. And not just special, but special, special, special. Unique. So Krishna has all the opulence. Therefore he's called Bhagavan. And indeed, all the different forms of Krishna are called Bhagavan. Nrsingadev Bhagavan. We say this. Nrsingadev Bhagavan, he's another form of the Lord, of course. Ramachandra Bhagavan, and so on and so forth. So many different avatars and forms of the Lord. And they're all addressed as Bhagavan, the possessor of all opulence. However, in this verse, it's a little special. It says, Krishna's too. Well, the whole thing is, Eti Chansa Kalaposa. There are many different forms of the Lord. Partial forms, parts of parts. But the word tu means but. Krishna's tu, Bhagavan Swayam. But Krishna is Bhagavan Swayam. This word Swayam is important because it is it's a word of emphasis, of really like specification, really pointing out something. Krishna's Bhagavan, he's not just Bhagavan, he is Bhagavan Swayam. Oh, it's a special Bhagavan, actually. Swayam means in person. The very one, that actual one, directly, the very one. So, Krishna's tu, Bhagavan, Eti Jansa Kalapusa, Krishna's tu, Bhagavan Swayam means there are many forms of the Lord, partial forms, parts of parts. They can all be called Bhagavan, but Krishna, he really is the Bhagavan, the very one who is really the Bhagavan. In other words, the original form, the original possessor of all opulences, the original form of God. So now, this verse then, 1:3:28, in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is considered to have a unique status, a unique position amongst all the other verses. And in the Bhagavatam, there are approximately 18,000 verses. This verse, according to our great acharyas, particularly Srila Jiva Goswami, this is referred to as the Paribhas Sutra of Srimad Bhagavatam. Paribhas Sutra means that in a book, some big book, there is one verse in the whole book. It is called Paribhas Sutra because it defines what is this book. What is the subject matter of this book? What is it all about? What is the message? What is all the rest of the book talking about? This is Paribhas Sutra. Yeah. So in this case, Jiva Goswami has identified this verse as the Paribhas Sutra, that definitive verse, which is telling us what is the subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam. What is it about? So what is it about? It is about Krishna. Actually, it's about different forms of Krishna, Eti Chansa Kala Pumsa. There are all these different types of forms of the Lord. So it's about the different forms of the Lord. But particularly Krishna's tu, Bhagavan Swayam. It is particularly about Krishna and how Krishna is this unique personality, even amongst other forms of the Lord, the original supreme personality of Godhead, from whom all the other forms of the Lord have come, and ultimately from whom everything has come. That is what Srimad Bhagavatam is about. It is about Krishna, and it is about Krishna in these terms. Yes. So it's interesting. Srimad Bhagavatam begins. This is the third chapter of the first canto. Srimad Bhagavatam begins in the first chapter, which is called Questions by the Sages. We have this great devotee, Sutta Goswami, and he has met a group of sages in Naimisharanya forest. And those sages, headed by Shonika, in the first chapter, they ask him several questions. And one of the questions, or even actually a few of them in different ways, they are asking, who is Bhagavan? Who is like the real Bhagavan? And tell us about the incarnations of Bhagavan. This is all in the first chapter. Then, in the second chapter, Sutta Goswami, he talks about different things setting the scene. But then at the end of the second chapter, he says, okay, I will now tell you about the incarnations of Bhagavan. He's using this term Bhagavan. The different avatars, incarnations of Bhagavan. And so here in chapter 3, Krishna is the source of all incarnations. That's the name of the chapter. He lists out so many, about 20-something avatars. 20-something, 21 or 2, something like that. Different avatars. The Mahavishnu and Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. The Vishnu forms the Purusha avatars. Then the 4 Kumars even. And then forms like Nrsimhadev, Kurma, Varaha, Parasuram, Lord Ramachandra. And then, as he's going on, he includes Krishna and Balaram in the list. Let us just read that verse. It is 23. We're looking at 28. This is now 23. So it's interesting. Listen, see if you can pick it up. Ekona vimshe vimshatine vrishnishu prapya janmani Rama Krishna viti bhuvo Bhagavan aharat varam. In the 19th and 20th incarnations, the Lord advented himself as Lord Balaram and Lord Krishna in the family of Vrishni, the Yadu dynasty, and by so doing he removed the burden of the world. What he's saying, I'm not going into it in detail, we do this sometimes as a seminar in detail, but when he has mentioned both Krishna and Balaram, he refers to them both as Bhagavan. So then he mentions Kalki, Buddha Kalki, and then he comes back to this verse 28, that there are all these different incarnations, but Krishna is the ultimate form of Bhagavan. Yes, and Balaram is also, both of them are referred to here as Bhagavan, because Balaram is the first expansion of Krishna, but still Krishna is special. So he's counted not just as an incarnation of Bhagavan, but as Bhagavan, the original Bhagavan. So this is the message of Srimad Bhagavatam. It's a very interesting point. We know in Hinduism, you know me, I'm sort of an adopted Hindu, or something. Anyway, something. I can speak a little Hindi, and Tamil, and something Bengali. So, and I like Gropar. So, I'm bona fide. So we know in Hinduism, there are many people who think Vishnu, he's the Supreme, and Krishna is an incarnation of Vishnu, isn't it? Oh, I've met many. And they say, why do you emphasize Krishna? Because he is one of the Das Avatar, one of the 10 special incarnations of Vishnu. So why do you emphasize Krishna? But actually, as described here in Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna is the source of Vishnu. There's an interesting discussion at the end of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 89th chapter. How many of you have read the 89th chapter of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam? How many of you have read Srimad Bhagavatam? The whole thing? Oh, you naughty devotees. We have one. Mother Karika. How many times? Twice. 2 and a bit. 2 point something. Anybody else? You better get reading. Oh, Giridhari Prabhu. See, husband and wife. That's a real husband and wife team. So, let us just say you should all read Srimad Bhagavatam. One reason is because you should. And another reason is because it's so nice. It's nectar. If you can just sort of break through and get into it and get started and get rolling, get a bit of a taste for it, wow. You know, you'll just, when you come home from work, you'll be thinking, I gotta get Srimad Bhagavatam and continue reading. And what about TV? Forget it. Kuch hota hai. No chance. Wali Togyana Nejay Abhinay. Because it's nectar. It's just, it's amazing. It's addictive. I know one devotee, Mother Karunika and I guess Giridhari Prabhu have read the Bhagavatam 2 or 3 times, something like that. I know one devotee who lives in England. He only reads Srimad Bhagavatam. Doesn't read anything else. Doesn't read the newspaper. And doesn't even read anything. And he just reads Srimad Bhagavatam and finishes it. And you know what he does when he finishes it? He reads it again. And then he finishes it again. And you know what he does? He reads it again. So I asked him, son, like 5-6 years ago, how many times have you read Srimad Bhagavatam? He said, I don't know. I lost count. So I lost count after like 15 times or something like that. Yeah. So you must be good devotees, okay? You be good little devotees, and you read your Srimad Bhagavatam, and don't be lazy little devotees, okay? And you'll be doing yourselves a big favor. Right, so there, in the 89th chapter of the 10th canto, it's the second to last chapter, there is a discussion, in fact the whole chapter, the point of the whole chapter is to establish this point, the whole chapter, that Krishna is the original form of God, even of Vishnu. So it's an interesting story. I'll tell you briefly the story. It's in 2 parts. The first part is the story of Bhrigu Muni. Bhrigu Muni, he's a great devotee, great personality, one of the children, one of the sons of Brahma. So Bhrigu Muni, at the beginning of the 89th chapter of the 10th canto, he is in this gathering of sages and rishis and spiritual people people, not all devotees, but all different spiritual type people. And there's this big discussion going on. Who's supreme? And one person says, Shivastu Bhagavan Swayam. How's that? Lord Shiva's the supreme. And another one said, no, Brahmastu Bhagavan Swayam. Lord Brahma is the supreme. And another one said, no, Durgastu Bhagavan Swayam. And another one said, no, it's my mother-in-law. I do whatever she says. It's always right. I get the mercy. Okay. So Brigham Muni is there and they're having this debate and they can't resolve it. They cannot decide. Although, in the end, it comes to the point, it's either Brahma or Shiva or Vishnu. But of the three, well, they can't decide. So Brigham Muni volunteers. He says, I will go and test them to see who is the highest. I will go and visit those three deities and sort of check them out, scope them out. So first of all, he goes to see Lord Brahma, who is his father. Yes. And if you were there in our seminar yesterday in Morcellement, Saint-André, then we talked about this a little. He walks in to his father, Lord Brahma's palace. He walks in, and normally, just catch this, children, just catch this one. According to Vedic etiquette, when children approach their parents, at least for the first time in the day, they should offer their obeisances. How's that? What do you think? I'll leave it with you. You can decide what you want to do. Or at least touch their parents' feet. This is a Vedic standard. But actually to offer obeisances is really the correct behavior with your parents the first time you see them in the morning. When you see your spiritual master, anytime, not just first time in the day, anytime, you should offer your obeisances. When you see a sannyasi for the first time in a day, you should offer your obeisances. This is Vedic etiquette, Vaishnava etiquette. And Prabhupada said, when you see a sannyasi for the first time in a day, if you do not, you should fast for the rest of the day. So, Lord Brahma then, Brigham Muni walked in, there's his father. But now Brigham Muni, his idea is to test Lord Brahma, to see, how elevated is his consciousness? Is he really free from pride and anger and material qualities? So Brigham Muni, just to test his father, he did not offer obeisances. He just walked in and said, "Hi, Dad." Came on here. And Lord Brahma, you know what? Lord Brahma, he was going to kill him. Seriously, this is the story. This is Srimad Bhagavatam. Because it is considered a very serious breach of etiquette if you do not respect your parents the first time you see them. It's not just some social nice thing, to be nice. It's important. So Lord Brahma was going to kill him. He got really enraged. But then his wife, Saraswati, pacified him and said, no, he's your son. Maybe he's just having a bad day or something. And so Brahma didn't kill him. But Bhrigu Muni noted, look at this. Because he was not offered respect, he got angry. This is contamination. Some, a Rajagun, Tamagun, some material contamination. So off he went then to visit his brother, Lord Shiva, to test him. So now he walked in there. There's Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva saw, here's my brother. How nice. And Shiva got up. And he came forward to embrace Bhrigu Muni, my brother. How nice to meet you. Haven't seen you for some time. Bhrigu Muni jumped back. Get away from me. Don't you touch me. Look at you. Look at you. Your body is covered with the ashes of cremated bodies. That's filthy. And look at you. Around your neck you've got a snake. That's terrible. And on your body you've got scorpions. That's shocking. Keep away from me. Don't touch me. And look at you. You associate with ghosts and hobgoblins and ghouls and, strange creatures like that. I don't know if you have any here. Mauritian ones. In South Africa we have Tikalosh. Tikalosh is Zulu hobgoblin. So Bhrigu Muni, he reacted like this, you are completely out of it. And Shiva was shocked. My brother, how can you treat me like this? And he also got really angry. And he was also going to kill Bhrigu Muni. But Parvati stepped forward and said, no. He's your brother. It's okay, just relax. So Lord Shiva did not kill him. But Bhrigu Muni noted, yes, this is like, the modes of material nature, anger, and like that. So Lord Shiva, there's some contamination there also. So then he went to visit Lord Vishnu. Vishnu was lying on an antashesh. Lakshmi was massaging his lotus feet. And he's just relaxing there, his eyes were closed in what we call yoga nidra. It may look like sleep, but it's not really sleep. It's like a spiritual trance, yogic trance, yoga nidra it's called. So he's relaxing like that. Bhrigu Muni walked in. He just walked in and you know what he did? He kicked Lord Vishnu in the chest. Bang! And Lord Vishnu woke up. And what happened? And there's Bhrigu Muni uptight. And you know what Lord Vishnu did? He jumped up and he said, oh my dear Bhrigu Muni, I'm so sorry. I hope you didn't hurt your soft lotus foot on my hard chest. And he said, thank you so much for placing your lotus foot on my chest. Up until now, Lakshmi, even though she's my wife, she won't come any closer to me than my feet. But now the dust from your feet is on my chest. Now, to get that dust, she will embrace me. So thank you. Thank you so much. And Bhrigu Muni understood, wow, Lord Vishnu, he's very exalted. Very exalted. Because also a subtlety, the offense to Lord Brahma was mental. Mental. He didn't really say anything offensive, maybe just said hello or something, but he didn't say anything insulting. It was just mental, his attitude. He wouldn't offer respect. Then, with Lord Shiva, the offense was not just mental, it was with words. He insulted him verbally. So that's worse. That's worse. But now the offense to Lord Vishnu was even worse because it was physical. He actually kicked him physically. So the offenses are on, gradually worse levels. But still Lord Vishnu is so beyond Tamagun, Rajagun, the influence of the modes of nature, so much that he was not offended, but rather he took it in a completely different way. So this is described then in the 89th chapter of the 10th canto, this whole story. And Bhrigu Muni then goes back and tells all the sages what had happened, and they all agree, you're right, okay, you've proved it. Vishnu is higher than Shiva and higher than Brahma. Then, this is now where it gets a little more subtle. In fact, it gets quite a bit more subtle. There's a second phase. The idea of the second phase is, now we've established Vishnu's higher than Brahma or Shiva. Now we'll establish that Krishna is higher than Vishnu. And Krishna is the highest. So that is the story. It's also there, same chapter, 89th chapter. It is the story of Mahavishnu stealing the 10 sons of a Brahmin couple from Dwarka, and how Krishna went and got those 10 sons and brought them back and returned them to the parents. It is a bit more subtle. Try and just catch this if you can. There's this Brahmin couple there in Dwarka, young couple, and they had a son. They just gave birth to a son, just right there. They gave birth to the son, they're very happy. Suddenly, within minutes or an hour or something, the son died. Oh, they're shocked. Completely shocked. They were so happy now the child's died. Oh, it's devastating. And not only did the boy die, he disappeared. Just vanished into thin air. So they're very disturbed, but then they decided, okay, we'll have another child. Try again. So they had a second son. Same thing happened. Same thing. And then a third, and a fourth, and a fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. They got to about 8. And, they're just in just a hopeless condition. And so angry. We are following Brahminical standards. This should not happen to us. It must be the fault of the king, Ugrasena. Yes, it must be his fault, because we are not at fault. It is not in our karma. Generally, we don't understand our own karma in much detail, but they understood their karma, and they knew it is not in our karma that our children will die. It must be the fault of the king. So they got really angry with Ugrasena, and they got really angry with Krishna because he's one of the princes in Dwarka. They had another child, he died, and then, this is now 9, and they were just finished, completely finished. Arjuna came. Well, they were insulting and cursing Krishna. And Arjuna, as a devotee, he didn't like that. So Arjuna came and said, look, have a 10th son, and I will personally protect this child. I will stand there by your house with my Gandiva bow, and if somehow I cannot protect your child and he dies and disappears, I will build a fire and light the fire and sit in the middle of the fire and give up my life. I'm so serious about this. I will protect your child. So they agreed, all right, we'll have a 10th child. And they did. So they had their 10th son. And there's Arjuna at the front door with his bow and arrow just waiting for someone to come. And you know what happened? The child didn't die. And Arjuna was sort of patting himself on the back, did a good thing, see, I'm really powerful, my Gandiva bow. And then you know what happened? The child died and disappeared. 10th one. And Arjuna said, okay, I couldn't protect your son, I'll kill myself. And he built a fire. He was about to light the fire. Krishna came. And Krishna said, no, don't do this. You come with me. So Krishna took Arjuna through the universe, and they went to the abode of Mahavishnu. And they arrived there, and everything was very impressive and very striking. Arjuna was amazed. Look at this palace, it's incredible. Look at Mahavishnu, he's so amazing. And Krishna said to Mahavishnu, he said, I think you have stolen these 10 children. And Mahavishnu said, you're right. I did. And Krishna said, why? Mahavishnu, he answered, because I wanted to see you. Yes. I stole them because I wanted to see you. And he said that, I knew with this Brahmin couple, they're suffering more and more and more. Each time a child dies, it gets worse. Eventually, you would not be able to tolerate that. And because the Brahmins are dear to you, you would then come and get them, and in this way, I would be able to see you. So now I've seen you. Now I'm happy. So take them. And Vishnu just handed them over. Take them. Just take them. So then Krishna and Arjuna took them back to the parents, and the parents were happy, and as they say, they all lived happily ever after. Now, the thing is this. This is where it gets a bit subtle. How does this show that Krishna is superior to Mahavishnu? Because this is the idea, this is the specific point why it's being presented here in Srimad Bhagavatam at length. So I thought what I would do to explain it briefly but clearly, the best thing I could do is read, it's a couple of paragraphs from the Krishna book, in other words, from Srila Prabhupada himself, in which he explains how this shows that Krishna is higher than Vishnu, Mahavishnu. So listen to this. This is Prabhupada. It is understood from the speech of Mahavishnu that he was very eager to see Krishna. It may be said, however, that since Mahavishnu took away the Brahman's sons, he must certainly have gone to Dwaraka to do so. Therefore, why did he not go to see Krishna there? Get the idea? He stole the children from Dwaraka. Krishna was there. The idea is he wanted to see Krishna. Why didn't he just walk in and see Krishna? Why did he go through this whole thing, went on for years with his 10 children? Therefore, why did he not see Krishna there? Prabhupada says, a possible answer is that unless Krishna gives his permission, he cannot be seen, even by Mahavishnu, who's lying in the causal ocean of the spiritual world. Thus, Mahavishnu took away the Brahman's sons one after another, just after their births, so that Krishna would come personally to retrieve them, and then Mahavishnu would be able to see him there. Prabhupada continues, if that is so, the next question is this: why would Mahavishnu come to Dwaraka personally if he were not able to see Krishna? Why did he not send some of his associates to take away the sons of the Brahmins? A possible answer is that it is very difficult to put any of the citizens of Dwaraka into trouble in the presence of Krishna. Therefore, because it was not possible for any of Mahavishnu's associates to take away the Brahman's sons, he personally had to come to take them. Another question may be raised. The Lord is known as Brahmanya Deva, the worshipable deity of the Brahmins. Namo Brahmanya Devaya, Go Brahmana Hitayacha. Famous verse. We offer our obeisances to Krishna, who protects the cows and the Brahmins. So why was he inclined to put a Brahmin into such a terrible condition of lamentation over one son after another until the 10th son was taken away? The answer is because, don't forget, Mahavishnu, when Bhrigu Muni came and kicked him, he considered it a blessing. He was happy, he thanked him. But now here, he put the Brahmin couple into extreme distress for years. Yeah. So why did he put these Brahmins into such a terrible condition of lamentation? The answer is that Lord Mahavishnu was so eager to see Krishna that he did not hesitate even to give trouble to a Brahmin. Although giving trouble to a Brahmin is a forbidden act, Lord Vishnu was prepared to do anything in order to see Krishna. He was so eager to see him. After losing each of his sons, the Brahmin would come to the gate of the palace and accuse the king of not being able to give the Brahmins protection, and thus being unfit to sit on the royal throne. It was Mahavishnu's plan that the Brahmin would accuse the Kshatriyas and Krishna would be obliged to come to see him to take back the Brahmin's sons. I hope I'm not losing you on this too much. Is this too sort of esoteric? I'm just reading directly from the Krishna book. So Prabhupada says, we're almost there. Another, wait a minute, where we are. Okay, still another question may be raised. If Mahavishnu cannot see Krishna, then how was Krishna obliged to come before him, after all, to take back the sons of the Brahman? The answer is that Lord Krishna went to see Lord Mahavishnu. For what reason? To help the Brahmin couple? To save them? You think that's the answer? Why Krishna came? Because the Brahmins were so upset and the Brahmins are dear to him, and he thought, well, I got to protect the Brahmins. Do you think that's the answer? No. No. The answer is that Lord Krishna went to see Lord Mahavishnu, not exactly to take back the sons of the Brahman, but only for Arjuna's sake. His friendship with Arjuna was so intimate that when Arjuna prepared himself to die by entering a fire, Krishna wanted to give him complete protection. Arjuna, however, would not desist from entering the fire. He would not stop entering the fire unless the sons of the Brahman were brought back. Therefore, Krishna promised him, I shall bring back the Brahman's sons. Do not try to commit suicide. So you see, the Brahmin family, they're like Paka Brahmins. They're the real thing, not Kali Yuga Brahmins from Mauritius. They're real Paka Brahmins. For years, they were suffering incredibly. Krishna didn't do anything. Mahavishnu didn't do anything. He put them into distress more and more. But as soon as Arjuna was in a difficult situation, Krishna immediately stepped in to protect Arjuna. So this is the explanation. I'll just read another couple of sentences. If Lord Krishna were going to see Lord Vishnu only to reclaim the sons of the Brahman, then he would not have waited until the 10th son was taken. But when the 10th son was taken away by Mahavishnu, and when Arjuna was therefore ready to enter the fire, that serious situation made Lord Krishna decide to go with Arjuna to see Mahavishnu. So you see, that's interesting, isn't it? I realize it's a bit subtle and I don't know if you caught it all, but that's the idea. Even Mahavishnu cannot see Krishna except by the mercy of the devotees. Now we're getting into a very deep and intimate part of Krishna consciousness, but it's really like that. And these things we can learn from someone like Srila Prabhupada, from Srila Prabhupada. You know, these things you won't learn otherwise. You won't learn. You'll learn a bit of this, a bit of that, and a bit of something. Om Jai Jagadisha Hare. Give me a house and a car and a color TV. Om Jai Jagadisha Hare. It's okay, I mean, it's better than nothing. But you won't learn this. You won't learn this. So like this, we see how Srila Prabhupada, and Prabhupada, in fact, what he's doing here, what we read, he is paraphrasing the commentary of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, which you can read because the commentary is presented, this is from Krishna book, The commentary as such of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is there in our Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, chapter 89. The purport, if you look there, 10, 89, 62. You'll see it's pretty much exactly what we just read, but he says, he's quoting Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and states, explains like this. So this is the thing. We can get a deeper understanding, a real understanding, an understanding which will make a difference and actually transform us, change us and change our lives. We can get this understanding through disciplic succession, not just from the priest up the road in the local temple, or just, from our grandparents. I mean, they may be able to say something, but not like this at all. Not like this at all. So this is disciplic succession. This is parampara. This transcendental knowledge is coming down in parampara from Krishna, through Lord Brahma, through Narada Muni, through Vyasadeva, Madhvacharya, and then from Madhvacharya, through different people, through Lord Chaitanya, the 6 Goswamis, then Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Gaurkishore Babaji, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and through Srila Prabhupada. Of course, the thing is, just like, interesting point, what is Prabhupada doing here? It's not that Prabhupada exactly is just explaining. He is repeating. Like I said, you can see, or he's getting it from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Prabhupada is repeating. So the disciplic succession goes on. It goes on. It didn't stop with Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Didn't stop with Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj. Didn't stop with Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. And it also didn't stop with Srila Prabhupada. And if we present the same thing, then we are also acting as part of the parampara. This is preaching. Preaching means you present the same message, not your own bright idea. You just present, you repeat Krishna's words. This is parampara. And then even ourselves in our humble ways, we are taking our position, a position in the ongoing parampara, disciplic succession. This is how it works. You simply repeat. That's all. You don't have to be big brain, big something. You just repeat. Prabhupada would say, like a post peon. In India, I don't know about today, maybe still today, but back in Prabhupada's time, the postman was called the post peon. Are you familiar with this word, peon? The peon means little worker, just practically nobody. The post peon. The post peon takes the letter which you have written and delivers it to your friend somewhere else. And the post peon, that service he renders, means you get exactly, your friend gets exactly what you wrote, the very thing. It's actually the same thing, literally. And that's the perfection of the post peon, just to carry. He doesn't have to open the letter and add something, change something, or subtract something and improve the letter. The post peon, in order to be perfect as a post peon, All he has to do is take it and give it, and that's the end of the story. That is it. And that's perfection. So, Krishna says, surrender to me. And if we say, surrender to Krishna, that's perfect. Actually, it's the same thing. It's just the same thing. Not like, well, maybe surrender to Krishna sometimes, so that, sometimes maybe Lord Shiva, but also Lord Krishna. And, not like that. Krishna says, surrender to me. And the devotee says, surrender to Krishna. That's parampara. That's disciplic succession. And this is how it works. That generation after generation, the devotees, they accept a spiritual master, get the message, the right message, from the spiritual master, take the message and give the message. That's it. That's it. That's it. And that's the perfection. Not, jazz it up, soup it up, somehow make it more dynamic. Just present it. That's all. Just like the postman. So this is disciplic succession. This is how it works. In a sense, it's a very simple thing. It's a very simple thing of just generation after generation. Each generation takes the message and just gives it to the next generation. That's it. That's all. And when, as the generation assimilates the message and understands it more and more clearly, then today's disciple becomes tomorrow's guru. Simple thing. Today's student becomes tomorrow's teacher. Simple thing. Yeah. And so it goes on. It goes on. And this principle of accepting a spiritual master is so important and so foundational. It's so absolutely foundational that Krishna, when Krishna was here, he accepted a spiritual master. He accepted Sandipani Muni. And Krishna didn't say, well, listen, I'm God. See? And you're one of the little people. I'm the big person. So I don't need a guru. So thanks, but it's okay. No, he accepted. He accepted Sandipani Muni. And he didn't just accept him as a formality that, got to set a good example. So even though I don't need a spiritual master, I'll just accept one anyway. I'll just set an example. No, when Krishna accepted Sandipani Muni, he accepted him wholeheartedly and surrendered to him. And when there's a story in the Bhagavatam, Krishna and Sudama, they were sent out by Sandipani Muni to collect firewood. So they went out, collected a lot of firewood in the forest. They turned around to come back. There was a big storm. They couldn't go back. They had to stay out under some big tree for the whole night. And the next morning, Sandipani Muni came out to find them. And Sandipani Muni, the guru, thanked them. Thank you so much. You're such good disciples. And he blessed Krishna. You and your teachings will be known eternally. And some say this is why Krishna is so famous in Bhagavad Gita. But it's okay. It's okay. But the thing is, he was very pleased with his disciple, Krishna. And then when Lord Chaitanya came, he also accepted a spiritual master, Ishvarapuri. And when he accepted him, he really accepted him. And he just surrendered to Ishvarapuri. Absolutely. He was initiated, and he asked Ishvarapuri, now I'm initiated, what should I do? What's my duty? And Ishvarapuri, well actually he asked Ishvarapuri, should I study Vedanta, dry philosophy? And Ishvarapuri said, no. Hariyar Nam, Hariyar Nam, Hariyar Nam, Eva Kevala, Kalo Nasjeva, 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 Katiranta. You just chant the holy names, chant the holy names, chant the holy names. In this Kali Yuga, there's no other way, no other way, no other way to achieve the goal, Gati, the goal of life. So Lord Chaitanya got that instruction, and you know what he did? He started chanting and chanting, and he was chanting 24 hours a day. Not 16 rounds. You know, some of us may congratulate ourselves if we manage 16 rounds a day. We think, yeah, wow, did it again. He was chanting 24 hours. And because Lord Chaitanya was chanting perfectly, no offenses, immediately all ecstatic symptoms just overpowered him completely. And he was struggling to chant. He was fainting and crying and stammering. He couldn't chant properly because of the ecstasy. And acting as a disciple, he went back to Ishvarapuri and said, you know, well, he asked him, what sort of mantra have you given me? And he said, you know, I think I'm doing something wrong because I try to chant. But when I chant, I can't chant because it just gets too much for me. And Ishvarapuri, understanding the situation, just laughed. And he said, congratulations, my dear child. You have perfected your life. So even Lord Chaitanya accepted a spiritual master, and wholeheartedly. And Krishna did, and it's just, that's the way it works. And it has been for millions of years. It's not just like recently. It's just been for millions of years. Yeah. And even though today is 2013, it hasn't changed. It hasn't changed. Nothing's changed. It's the same. The only thing that's changed is that Kali Yuga is more crazy and crazy in more ways. Creative craziness. That's all. But otherwise, Krishna consciousness is just the same. You just chant Hare Krishna. You just read Bhagavad Gita. You just associate with the devotees, do service, worship the deity. You just do that. That's all. That's what you do. And you accept a spiritual master and get guidance from them. That's just what you do. It's the way it is. It is, the Prabhupada says, the law of disciplic succession. That today's disciple is tomorrow's guru. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
It's starting to take a long time. I lost track of time. Anyway, we will hand you over to the temple authorities. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.